Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you a really powerful sync for LeadConnector. It's LeadConnector to Google Sheets. It opens up a lot of opportunities. What you can do is sync all your contacts from LeadConnector to a Google Sheet, and there you can slice and dice and see exactly what your business is made of and who those people are. You can also set up a more specific sync that only sends people to a Google Sheet when you tag them with a specific tag. And this way, you can basically create a list of contacts that you're sharing with a marketing team, maybe a virtual assistant for follow-up. It's a great way to save some time and just be more organized and find out more about your business. Let me show you what it looks like to set this up. First, you're going to go to apination.com and click on Start Syncing. There you're going to see a ton of different apps, marketing apps, productivity apps. They're all available to sync and automate through API Nation. I'm going to come down here to L for LeadConnector and click on that. If you see any other apps though, go ahead and automate those through us as well. And now we're going to see all the apps I can sync specifically with LeadConnector, including Google Sheets. And Google Sheets is a really powerful app to sync with anything really. It allows you to have all those contacts in a spreadsheet, which means you can create reports. You can share that spreadsheet with people, opening up avenues for collaboration. It's just an overall, all-around great idea to set up this sync. So the first option here is to send contacts from a Google Sheet into LeadConnector, which is pretty cool. We're going to do that in a second. But I'm going to first set up this LeadConnector into Google Sheets. So this is going to take contacts from my database, create a Google Sheet out of them so I can take a look at them. So the first thing to do is sign into your API Nation account if you don't have one. Click here to create one, or sign in using your Google account. I'm going to do that. And now we're going to connect these two apps. LeadConnector is really easy. You're going to hit this big button. It's going to take you out to sign into LeadConnector, and then just choose the account you want to use for this sync. Very similar thing with Google. I'm going to hit this big button. It's going to allow me to connect the Google account I want. Make sure you choose the business Google account you have. I know a lot of people have a lot of different Google accounts. So we want to choose our business account so that it's sending the Google Sheet into the Google Drive of that account. All right, so now just an option here. Do I want to sync everybody from LeadConnector in there? Or maybe I just want to keep track of people from now on. Most people want to get everybody in there so they can see them, so they can slice and dice, like I said, and create those reports. And then what do you want to name this sheet so you can find it in your Google Drive? I'm going to call this LeadConnector Leads. Boop. And hit subscribe. This creates the sync, but it doesn't yet activate it. We're going to do a couple final things before we hit activate. You can see it's sending all the contacts to LeadConnector Leads. There's a lot of different things you can do, like I said. This is going to send everybody, but let's say you only want to send people who have a specific thing going on. So let's say you only want to send people who you want to send a gift basket to. So I can say tags contains gift basket. And then what some people will do is they'll just, in their LeadConnector database, whenever they want to send a gift basket to somebody, they'll tag them with gift basket. And then the resulting Google Sheet, they'll hand off to their assistant and say, keep an eye on this Google Sheet. Names are going to show up whenever I tag somebody. If they show up, use the address in the Google Sheet, send them the gift basket. That way, you don't have to have them in and out of your database. All they have to focus on is that Google Sheet. They can even get emails whenever the Google Sheet is updated. So that's a great option. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. I just want to send everybody from my business into a Google Sheet, get all those contacts into a second place so I can take a look at them. You can see here's the mapping. For Google Sheet, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to send everything we can into a Google Sheet. A lot of great information here, including custom fields. Let's go to the top and activate this sync. There we go. You can see it's now building the sync, and it's going to put that in your Google Drive. So now let's set up the partner sync, which is pretty cool. I'm going to click on LeadConnector logo to go back to the LeadConnector syncs. And we're going to do the same thing, choose Google Sheets. So there's a few different options here with this second sync. You see we're syncing Google Sheets into LeadConnector, so going back the other direction. I'm going to hit activate. A couple different options. One, a lot of people will set up a type form or a Google form and have people fill that out, which automatically puts them on a Google Sheet. That Google Sheet, they'll just connect to LeadConnector, and then it's feeding people from your type form or from your Google form right into your database, which is kind of nice. Some people are coming to their LeadConnector database from another system, and maybe they have everybody in a CSV. So just throw that CSV in a Google Sheet and then connect it to LeadConnector, and it makes a really easy way to get up and running with your LeadConnector database. Or finally, some people will sync the sheet we just created. So LeadConnector creates a sheet full of all my contacts, and then I sync that sheet full of all my contacts back to LeadConnector. That way it's a two-way sync, and then anytime I want to make a lot of edits, I just hop into my Google Sheet, update everything, and then all those updates will get pushed into LeadConnector. I'm going to go ahead and try that. So I'm going to choose these same accounts, Google Sheets and LeadConnector, and then I'm going to go find that spreadsheet we just created, and I'm going to paste it in here. So you're going to go to Google Drive and search for LeadConnector Leads. So here is that LeadConnector Leads in my Google Drive, and here's the URL I need. I'm going to grab it, hit Control Copy, go back here and paste it in here. And then I can choose Don't Overwrite Information in LeadConnector. This is kind of nice. This way it is really just going to fill any blank information instead of completely overwriting it. But if you're making a lot of edits, make sure not to check this box. That way it will overwrite in LeadConnector, and the information you change in the Google Sheet will actually write into LeadConnector even if the contact information already exists. I'm going to hit subscribe, and that's going to create the sync. Again, you can do all the powerful things again here. If you want to filter or change the mapping, you can. But this all looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and activate this sync. So now we've created a two-way sync. Everybody who is in my LeadConnector database is go out and put on this spreadsheet, and everybody from this spreadsheet is getting synced back into LeadConnector. So like I said, you can just hop in here, look for any names you need to fix. You can even find extensions to do stuff like change case. So if you had everybody added to your database and all the cases all over the place, sometimes it's capitalized, sometimes it's not. Some people are all caps, and I don't want that. So what you can do is just go in here, change case, and it's going to go through all your names and change it to proper capitalization. So that's kind of nice, a really nice way to clean up your database, but there's a ton of different things you can do in here. So that's just one example of what you can do with this two-way sync. That's it. LeadConnector and Google Sheets are now connected. Now it's a two-way sync is what I set up this time, so that any contact that I add to LeadConnector automatically gets put on the sheet. And then any person I add to that Google Sheet or any changes I make to the contacts there gets synced back to LeadConnector. But there's a ton of different ways to use this so that you can learn more about your business, collaborate more easily, and just be more organized and productive. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.